everyone, this is Alannah with Ask Alannah. Today I'll be discussing things that every girl should have on a first date. As most girls already know, first dates can be nerve-wracking enough as it is. You have to worry about finding that perfect outfit, whether or not your makeup will melt down, and of course whether or not you'll have fun with that guy you're going out on a date with. Today I'll be discussing some things that every girl should have on a first date that will ensure that things flow smoothly and that you have the best time possible. The first thing that every girl should have on a first date is gum or some kind of breath freshener. This is essential because you never know when he'll lean for that first kiss, and you definitely want to be prepared, especially if you didn't tell the waiter to hold the onions. Another important thing that every girl should have on a first date is her cell phone. This is important because you always should have a way to get in contact with someone else, especially if you're going on a date with someone who's a relative stranger. It's also good for fake emergency phone calls, just in case your date's a total snore. I'm just kidding. Maybe not. Touch-up makeup. Now, you're going on a first date, there's definitely no need to bring along your entire beauty arsenal, but it's definitely good to have a few essentials along just in case, such as mascara, foundation, lip gloss, or eyeliner. You won't need to worry about having a makeup meltdown if you have a few essentials stowed away with you for quick touch-ups. Another important thing to have along on a first date is a mirror. For quick touch-ups on a first date, it's definitely a good idea to have a mirror handy. On a first date, it's also a good idea to wear reasonably comfortable shoes. If you're going on a first date with a guy, it's probably a good idea to leave those 5-inch, $200 brand spanking new stilettos at home that you've been saving for a special occasion. Sure, it might sound like a good idea to rock your killer new heels on a first date, but if you can barely walk the entire time and you're in constant pain, you're probably not going to be feeling very sexy or enjoying your date very much. So for a first date, is it best to wear your sexy black pumps that you've already broken in? Or your strappy, sky-high stiletto heels that have barely been worn? Probably best to stick with the black pumps. Another important thing to have along on a first date is quick conversation starters. If you happen to be going on a date with a guy who's a very conversational, talkative person, wonderful. If not, and you're going on a date with someone who needs a little bit of prodding in order to start opening up, it's always good to have some good conversation topics or conversation starters handy. For some great ideas, check out my article on great conversation starters. Another important thing that every girl should have on a first date is someone who knows where you're at. This is especially important if you're going on a first date with someone you barely know. It's better to be safe than sorry, and there's way too many crazies out there these days to dismiss that. If you're going on a date for the first time with someone who you barely know, I definitely recommend going on a date in a public place also. And remember to check in with your contact or friend at the end of the night. Something else that every girl should have on a first date is money. Now, I definitely agree that a guy who's chivalrous and a gentleman should pay on the first date, but you shouldn't assume that a guy will pay, and just have some money with you just in case. There's nothing worse than having a guy go Dutch at the end of the night than not having money to pay for your part. Another thing you should have on a first date is alternate date ideas. If you happen to have a reservation at one of the hottest new restaurants in town, chances are the night might not go as planned. It's always good to have a backup idea or two on the date because it helps give flexibility and it ensures that your night won't turn out to be a dud just because of a packed restaurant or a crowded theater. The last thing that every girl should have on a first date is mace. Just kidding. You're dating a guy who looks like he should be maced, you probably shouldn't be going on a date with him anyways. Well, that's it for today, everyone. For more updates, check back at askalannah.com.